have another writing strategy for you guys today. It is called Ideas Hiding in Plain Sight. So what we're gonna do, hopefully you've been writing down some new topics or some different entries into your notebooks or into paper that's lying around, and we're gonna go back to those, see what you've written about, and then we're gonna reimagine it as if it was a different genre. And then we could turn to a clean page and start a new notebook entry. So again, this is called our Ideas Hiding in Plain Sight. So step number 1 is to notice the topics you write about. So what we can also call this, we can also say that we're gonna go back and we're gonna go back and reread. So go back and look to see what have you already written about. The second thing that we're going to do, we're gonna ask ourselves this question. What if I wrote the story as a poem? So that's a different genre. So we call step number 2, imagine. All right, and then step number 3, you guys can kind of get it from my picture clue here. Step number 3 is to simply write. So I have an example. Hopefully you watched the other video called Photo Starts. So I took that same photo from before. Remember, I was looking closely at the picture, asking yourself, what do you remember? And then telling a story. So I had this picture of Mr. Carlos and I on this ride. So I wrote a story to go along with it. I was thinking about what did it look like and feel like and sound like to be in that moment. So I wrote, gush, I could hear the water flowing downhill. Mr. Carlos held on tight as we began our fall. I could hear my screams echo off the walls of Splash Mountain. So I tried to remember all of the details from that picture, everything that I could remember, and I made it into an entry. Now for today's strategy, I'm gonna take this same entry and I'm going to transform it into a new genre. So I think poetry is really fun. Now remember, poetry does not need a rhyme. There's tons of different types of poetry. I went with rhyming though. So that same entry of Mr. Carlos and I at Splash Mountain, I've turned it into a poem. I'm gonna read it to you guys as an example. So it says, I love sound effects. I love onomatopoeia. Gush, gurgle, gargle. The stream was fast. I didn't think we were going to last. My heart raced as I screamed. Our boat was falling downstream. So I just started it here, and then I can go back and I can add more details. I can use the previous entry and say, you know what, I really like the part about the echo. Can I fit the word echo into my poem? So this is just another fun activity to maybe take some things you've been writing about before. You can always go back to it and make it even better. I hope this was a helpful video for my friends.